Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just before 12:30 in Honolulu, 6:30 in New York. It is Tuesday, October 27th, 2020, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. We had modest gains in both gold and silver today as we see both precious metals continue to consolidate. My sense is that people and market participants focused on the pandemic, especially for today with these large spikes we have been witnessing, but will soon turn their attention to the upcoming presidential election just a week from now. We'll talk about that during our show and our opening letter, but first to the price board. With the exception of palladium, the precious metals complex exhibited modest gains pretty much across the board. We are looking at gold futures. This bases the December contract gaining $4.30 and currently fixed at $1,910. When we look at spot gold, that is just a few dollars away, up $6.35 at $1,907.80, and that is with a dollar that is in essence unchanged at 93.02. Silver also scored a nice gain today of almost 0.2%, 4.5-cent gain, putting it at $24.4650, and that, of course, is basis the most active December contract. Lastly, the ETFs that we follow had reasonable gains. Silver SLV gained just over 0.5%, 12 cents per share at $22.73, and GLD also gained about 0.25% at $179.02. We remain long both of those ETFs. Let's take a look at our technical studies. This first chart we're looking at is a daily candlestick chart. It is the continuous contract of gold futures. It begins when the pandemic really hit home. That is, of course, mid-March, when market forces took gold to about 1940. We had a basic trend line using this bottom or low here against these lows here. And we talked about the fact that over the last couple of days, we have definitively seen gold trade below this particular trend line. I have added another trend line, and that is kind of like cutting a picture to fit a frame. It's not that it has validity, but what I am attempting to look at is if we've had any kind of major chart damage as it broke below. Because what I am seeing is consolidation rather than a sharp fall to lower pricing. And to really see that better, we have to go ahead and blow this up. The basic trend line that we put in, which goes back to those lows in March, was definitively broken the other day, and it is currently acting as a resistance area as yesterday and today's high reached the bottom of that trend line. It did open and close below it, but it does tell me that we have a market that is consolidating rather than selling off. I think that we could see a very big move either just prior to the election or after the results are known. Obviously, when a fiscal stimulus bill is passed, that would be the point where we could really see sparks fly, so to speak. And we are long GDL and SLV. Those are our long-term plays. So what I'm looking at is proper positioning of futures markets based upon a little bit more fundamental knowledge. In other words, either the outcome of the election or a actual fiscal stimulus bill being passed and getting ready to be implemented. Traders, we can absolutely make a case for the market consolidating in terms of gold when we look at a weekly chart, which is what I have up. We can see that the close of this week, currently where it's at, and last week are very close together. Also, that matches very, very closely to the close 2 weeks ago. It's precisely at that same point. 3 weeks ago, it did close above that price point. And so we're trading within a very tight and narrow range, and that to me is a market consolidation. Another reason I believe that is after we broke this lower level trend line, we didn't see the market sell off sharply, retest maybe 1850 or 1860, but rather Even though we had a lower low than yesterday and a lower high, it's staying within this tight and defined range, most importantly above $1,900 per ounce. And that's the reason I'm waiting for the proper fundamental news to enter long on a futures trade. When we look at a daily chart of silver futures, we do see a lot of similarities to how gold has been trading. We look at this lower level channel line. This would be our support line. Today's action actually had a high that broke above it, but it closed right at it. This small red line reflects trading now active in Australia. Again, I see a market consolidation rather than a break after breaking below this particular support line. All things being equal, we will maintain our long positions in SLV and GLD. We are sidelined on gold and silver futures and are awaiting a change in the fundamental news that's currently available to us, meaning right before the election or after the election, or any talk of passing a fiscal stimulus bill. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you as always good trading. We will talk to you tomorrow for the next daily update and review. Bye-bye.